Yo, how's it going, folks? It's me again, your boy Tabo, and this is a brand new series of SVG for the web. Um, I'm very excited about this tutorial series, and I hope that you get a lot of excitement and you learn a lot, from this tutorial that I've prepared for you guys. So, just in a nutshell, I just want to say those who don't know what SVG means or is, SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. And this is a type of graphic in comparison to raster graphics, which would be your normal like JPEG like images, which are made of pixels. SVGs are drawn mathematically, and the nice feature about them is that they can be scaled pretty much indefinitely without losing quality or resolution. So yeah, I'd like to give you then a technical breakdown of what SVGs are. And in a nutshell, SVG is a language for describing two-dimensional graphics, and it is also an XML-based markup language. As such, it's a text-based open web standard for describing images that can be rendered cleanly at any size and are designed specifically to work well with other web standards, including CSS, DOM, JavaScript, and SMIL. SVG images in the related behaviors are defined in XML text files, which means they can be searched, indexed, scripted, and compressed. Additionally, this means they can be created and edited with any text editor or drawing software. Okay, SVGs allow for three types of graphic objects. These are vector graphic shapes, which are paths consisting of straight lines and curves, images, and text. Graphical objects can be grouped, styled, and transformed and composited into previously rendered objects. The feature set includes nested transformations, clipping paths, alpha masks, filter effects, and template objects. Yeah, sophisticated applications of SVGs are possible by use of supplemental scripting language which accesses SVG document object model, DOM in short, which provides complete access to all elements, attributes, and properties. Now, SVG's drawings can be interactive and dynamic, and animations can be defined and triggered either declaratively by embedding SVG animation in elements in SVG content or via scripting. A rich set of event handlers such as onMouse, over, and onClick can be assigned to any SVG graphical object. Because of its compatibility and leveraging of other web standards, features like scripting can be done on XHTML and SVG elements simultaneously within the same page. So SVG can also be created with graphical software such as Inkscape, Krita, Illustrator, just to name a few. These will give you ease of control, to allow for more artistic creation, since drawing with code is a lot more complex. So now some of the other things that I wanted to illustrate to you is how you would create an SVG on an HTML file. Now, with HTML, it's quite simple because you can just basically create a normal HTML file if you have knowledge of HTML. You just create your basic HTML file, and then in between the body, this is where you can insert your SVG tags. And then inside the SVG tags, this is where you would then start drawing your graphic elements. So I'm just going to show you an example with the file that I've got open here. So as you can see, this is a normal HTML file, and then in between the body, I've got these two tags. Now I'm just gonna delete this so that the SVG can be clear on its own. So you've got these two SVG tags. This is the opening and the closing, and then in between here, this is where then you would be drawing your different graphical shapes or elements. So just to illustrate, for instance, this creates it for you automatically, so you don't have to include any other attributes because the HTML parser does that all for you. But if you were doing this as a standalone SVG, meaning if you were not using SVG within an HTML file, then you would need to specify some attributes, a namespace, which would basically validate your SVG as an XML language, because in order for it to be recognized, it has to have the namespace. If that is not included, then it will not display on your web browser. So I'm gonna remove this, and then I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Now this is one of the elements. It's a rect. Now this is just for demonstration purposes. So we're not going to go deep into how to create a shape or any of that, but this is just to illustrate to you what this would look like on a browser. Actually, I think I should have it already open. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so this is what that would look like. So this is the green rect that has been created here with this code. And another thing that you can do, you can also give your SVG a color, as you seen before, like the code that I removed there. It was a style that was assigned to the SVG and some size. So basically the width is something that you also have to specify, because when you create it like this, then it does not have, it has a default size of about 300 by 300 or so. But the problem is, if you do not know what is going on, then you will realize that later, as you keep adding more graphical elements, then some of them will not be showing. And then if you do not know what's going on, then you might find yourself looking for or debugging, because it's not even easy to debug SVGs, but you might find yourself in a pickle there, because yeah, you will not know why your stuff is not displaying. So just as a precautionary measure, always make sure that you assign size values to your SVG elements. Okay, so I just gave it a size of 100% width size, and then height of 1500, and then I'm gonna add a style background color. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna make it beige. And so I will go back here, and yes, this is what we have. And so we have like this whole space is our canvas. Okay, so another example that I want to show you is how to create an SVG as a standalone path. So this is how you would do it. This is basically the same code that I just took from that other file, and then I'll just maybe just change the color here to red, just for so that they can be distinguished. And then first of all, I'm gonna remove this, right? This is what you need to specify. You know, this is what the namespace is. So I'm gonna first of all, let me just open it. This is where it is. Okay, so that's what it looks like. You've got your red square, so everything is drawn properly. But if you do not have this, then you would run into a problem, because when you go back and then you try to open it, this is what you would get, because the browser will not recognize what file format this is, because it won't be seen as an XML, because there is no namespace. So it'll just be some random file with an SVG at the end, but yeah, it does not have the credentials to validate it, so to speak. So that is important. Whenever you draw SVGs as standalones, please always include that. So yeah, in a nutshell, that is all that you need to know to start drawing SVGs. So in the next lesson, we're actually going to start creating different shapes. There are a couple of basic shapes that you get in SVG. So yeah, that's what we're going to be dealing with in the next lesson. So till the next lesson, this is all for now, and thanks for your time and patience. Much love to you, my brothers and sisters. I'm out. If you thought this video was good and helpful, please press that like button. For any questions or input, just remember to leave a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep more stuff coming your way.